Hey everybody, it's Dawn Isenhower again. We're going to look at another question about real estate. So let's pick one out of here. So our question is a classic. Is this house haunted? And this actually comes up a lot, especially with older properties, and it never fails. Someone asks that question. And that's a question that I struggle with answering because, different people assume that if a property is about 100 or so, maybe more, that something paranormal has taken place in that property. If a property is old enough, first of all, anything's possible. There was one instance where there were some children in an older house who kept seeing what they considered a white lady at night in one of the bedrooms, just drifting around, very ghost-like. And it turned out that that was actually smoke coming out of the walls, and the house did catch on fire. So those were kind of warning shots from the electricity. So what they were seeing wasn't a ghostly form at all. It was actually smoke that would come out of the walls at night. The house was just ready to catch on fire. So what one person considered haunted was actually a real legitimate issue with the house. Having said that, there usually is an explanation, but houses do have a feel to them. You can tell just by the way furniture is arranged and by the way curtains might be drawn. You can tell if someone's been depressed or if something's happened in a house just by the way that it feels. So they do have a feel to them when you walk in, and a lot of times you can tell if something disturbing has happened there just by the setup and arrangement of the house. If there is something that's going on in the house or that has gone on in the house, disclosure is kind of tricky there. So I tell most people, consult an attorney and see what disclosure looks like. I know that if something a violent crime has happened in the home, that should be disclosed. When you get into deaths, that's a little trickier because if it's a non-violent death, here in Ohio, if you ask an attorney, most will tell you that does not have to be disclosed. So if there are unusual things that are happening in a house, it's best to go ahead and let people know about them and not find out about them from neighbors after closing. I have a lot of people who, when they buy any house, they have their minister or their priest come over and just do a blessing and kind of cleanse the house. So, if that makes you more comfortable in purchasing, that's never a bad idea. In terms of asking a realtor if a house is haunted or not, most of us cannot make that proclamation professionally. But just know with age, things have happened in the house that may make you uncomfortable if you knew about them. But if a house has enough age on it, certainly things have happened there. Certainly people have passed away. Certainly there might be a condition that is dangerous in that home, and it hasn't been disclosed because people really don't know about it. Some of those bumps and sounds that you hear are actually warning signs for something that's physically happening that's wrong. So, again, I can't proclaim whether a house is haunted or not, but the buyer just has to be receptive to the way that they're feeling in the house. If you get a bad feeling about a house when you go in it, it's not going to be a great investment for you. You're never going to be comfortable. But those houses that feel clean and bright and wonderful usually do attract lots of buyers. So, it's best to make sure that if you want to have your house feeling and looking great, that you do have natural light that comes in, that you do have a furniture setup that's conducive, that you don't have dirt all over the place or cobwebs all over the place. Just have that house, if you're selling it, as crisp as possible and as nice as possible. But if there are things that will definitely disturb a buyer later on when they purchase, you need to go ahead and tell people about that. Just make sure that house has the best feel possible to attract buyers. And again, just go with your gut on things like that. If that house is not going to make you comfortable, you do not need to be there. And most people kind of pick up on those things right when they walk in. If that house is going to be depressing to you, if it's not going to have a good vibe, or if it's the perfect place and you're going to feel great there, you get the feel for it right away. So if you have questions about this or anything else real estate related, you can always call me and we'll have a talk about it at 513-236-1254. Bye.